Hello, my name is Agatha and I'm going to explain how the tarot reading for the month of August 2016 is going to work. I'm going to use two decks. I'm going to use the Mystical Wisdom card deck, and I'm going to draw one card as a general advice for the month of August for all signs, for each sign. And then for the main reading I'm going to use the Chrysalis Tarot. And the main reading I'm going to use the Gypsy Spread, which is 21 cards and in 7 columns. And in the first row I'm going to talk about work. The second row I'm going to talk about family. The third row or column I'm going to talk about luck and wants and what you desire. The fourth row I'm going to talk about friendship. The fifth row or column I'm going to talk about love and sex. And then the sixth row it's about your plans and your goals. And the seventh row I'm going to talk about your personal project for the month of August 2016. And this is going to be beginning of the month, middle of the month, and end of the month. So beginning of the month is from the 1st to 10th of August, and then the middle of the month is going to be from the 11th to the 20th of August, and then the end of the month is going to be from the 21st to the 31st of August. And that's it. Let's go to your reading. Hello Aquarius, this is the tarot reading for you for the month of August 2016. And the oracle card that came out for you, Aquarius, was choices. Make the best choices. And I'm going to read from the little book because I think I should. I don't read from the little book in every single sign. Sometimes I think I should. Human nature comes with the greatest responsibility, free will to make the choices and to accept the consequences of one's actions. Everyone makes the choice to accept situations as they are or take responsibility to change them. Make the decisions that are best for you, as you will never be able to please everyone. Choose your actions based on your own personal values and regret nothing. The affirmation is, I take responsibility for my actions. So this is the general energy or advice for you, Aquarius, for the month of August 2016. So in the first column or row 1, connected to work, in the beginning of the month, Aquarius, the card that came out for you was the Watcher, or the Queen of Mirrors. The Queen of Mirrors can represent someone older after the late 30s or after the age of 40 to mids after the age of 40, from a water sign, Cancer, Scorpio or Pisces. This is a very generous person, emotionally present, very intuitive, very psychic. You might be manifesting this energy, or you might be talking to someone who has this energy. So you might be talking to a boss or a leader. You might be asking for advice, and this person is the right person to give you advice. Or you might be dealing with a boss who's really nice, is very generous. Or you yourself, Aquarius, are this sort of boss. You are very talented. You know how to read, the colleagues and the bosses in the work environment, emotions, so to speak. And you are able to adapt to those work environment vibes. You have great wisdom connected to your work. You have achieved a leadership position because you're very good and you're very generous and you're very wise. In the middle of the month, you have Phoenix or the Judgment card. So for some of you, you might be changing jobs, you might be changing careers. You might be retiring after achieving a very good leadership position. So you've achieved the maximum in terms of, or at least very close to the maximum, and everybody likes you. So you're not the type of boss who's a jerk. No, you've achieved a very big leadership role, because that's the Queen of Mirrors, the Watcher, based in your talent, but everyone likes you. You're not a jerk. So you might be retiring. For others, this might be actually something to do with court. So you might be in court, not necessarily, but so maybe you are the witness related to something connected to work, or I'm not going to read. Yes, it could be a judgment, a literal judgment connected to work and profession that can come from a court, or like inside. So there's an evaluation of work or your job, and there's finally this judgment comes out. But I'm going to read this more. It could be a report, for instance. I'm going to read this like a transformation connected to your work environment. So another job, retirement, or within your company, there's a transformation of your work, of your job. So maybe you are, how do you say, promoted? Yeah, promoted. Yeah, how do you say? You get a bigger job, Yeah, promoted. In Portuguese, you say promovido. So you used to be the manager, the boss. In terms of hierarchy, like you have a bigger position. In the end of the month, you have the Eight of Mirrors, Aquarius, which is abandoning that which makes no sense to you and just focusing on the most important things. So maybe there's a connection in terms of work, like leaving an old job behind, retiring, for instance, and you're quite happy. Or there's like a spiritual transformation within you, and within your work and within your job, within your career. You kind of decide if you change jobs or careers, it's because you want your job or your career to be more attuned to your values, to your spiritual values, and to your principles. So you decide to focus on a job or on a career that gives full attention to the things that are most important to you, even on a spiritual level. Or this could be literally be retiring. Think in your job, you are more attuned. You express yourself spiritually through your work environment, through your job, through your career. In the second column 2, connected with family, in the beginning of the month you have the sojourner, or the king of mirrors, the king of cups in traditional decks. You might be talking to this person who is a family member. Could be a guy, could be a woman, doesn't matter, because this is a general reading. Could be someone in his or her late 30s, or after the age of 30, after the age of 40. Very wise, like I said. I talked about the Queen of Mirrors, the Watcher, or the Queen of Cups. Someone who's very wise, I just thought like twin sister or twin brother, someone like that. Someone who's very similar to you in terms of emotions. He or she is very wise, very intuitive, very empathic, emotionally generous, emotionally present, knows how to give wise counsel, wise advice. So you're talking to this person, maybe again, I get the vibe of sibling. Maybe your sibling travels, because this is in the beginning of August. Maybe he or she is on vacation, and you get to meet her or him, and you get to talk to this family member, or you travel and go and talk to this family member, even to ask advice, for instance. In the middle of the month you have the Four of Scrolls, or this could be a paternal figure, motherly figure, because this is a very general reading. Mother, father, grandmother, grandfather. Also, I thought about sibling. Thought about someone who's equal to you. Also, I'm sorry, like like a twin brother, twin sister. I don't know why. In the middle of the month, you have the Four of Scrolls or the Four of like what do you say, swords in traditional decks. Maybe someone in your family is ill, but not something serious. Could be like a cold, for instance. So he or she is recuperating, or you're not spending in the middle of the month. You're spending time with yourself. You're not spending time with your family. At the end of the month, you have the Seven of Spirals or the Seven of Wands in traditional decks. This could be like a conflict with someone. Either you, Aquarius, are asserting your values or your principles towards a family member, or a family member is asserting his or her values and principles towards you. So you might be very emphatic, I defend this, I believe in this, or he or she might be a very bit conservative and a traditionalist, because, you know, I kind of think of the bear like that, traditional values, conservative type of mind, someone who doesn't change his mind or her mind's like very fixed in his thoughts or her thoughts, and you might be bumping heads because of that, because you think in a certain way and he or she thinks in a completely different way. There's no use to, you know, quarrel unless it's absolutely necessary. It could be like that. It could be absolutely necessary, you know. I'm going to give you an example. Let's say like in the middle of the month, someone is ill. Someone quite young, for instance, in your family is ill. And maybe let's say it's a niece or a nephew, and your sibling, maybe could be this one, could be the King of Mirrors, with whom you talk to in the beginning of the month, and this could be a very religious person also. I'm not reading it quite like that, but it could be. And a family like his son or her daughter is ill, and they refuse certain types of medical treatment, or they can refuse medical treatment because of their religious views, and then at the end of the month you're just like, that's absolutely insane, you need to, you know, use medicine, or you need to use this sort of treatment, it makes no sense, oh, my religion says this and this, that's stupid, you know. It could be something that you really need to feel, you feel the need to defend your principles, or your values, maybe because you're defending someone who cannot defend himself or herself because he or she is sick. Could be like even he or she is sick, not necessarily someone in your family, not necessarily someone who is younger. Someone in your family is sick, and he or she always behave in a certain way. And because others in your family take this opportunity to take advantage of him or her, and not to respect this person's wishes. This person, even in terms of ideas and thoughts, that does not necessarily have to agree with the way you think, Aquarius, but he or she had certain belief. I cannot give an example right now. I cannot think of anything. And then someone else in the family takes advantage of the fact that this person is ill to kind of bulldozer through what he or she believes, and you are defending, you Aquarius, you are defending the rights of this family member, even though you do not agree with him or her. I don't know what it is. Let's say he or she is in a coma. Let's say he or she left very specific instructions in terms of what to do if he or she became ill. There are very specific instructions. But someone who's very traditional in your family, very conservative, doesn't agree with that, and you are defending this family member. No, this family member left specific instructions, and you are defending the rights of this family member. For instance, because he or she is like in a coma or something, cannot defend himself, or is very sick, very ill, cannot defend himself or herself. And then in the third column, connected with luck and wishes, in the beginning of the month, you have Ariadne, or the death card. It could be like your luck changes because you solve a puzzle. So you attract good luck to you because you solve a puzzle. Or the nature. There's a big transformation in your life that attracts good luck to you. Or let's say you buy a ticket, a lottery ticket, and it wins. So like big luck, big transformation in your life, because it's the death card. The death card is always big transformation. I also read this as the transformation in the nature of your desires. You used to desire a certain type of thing, or you have the desire for this or for that. Like, let's say, you always desired to be a famous painter, or famous writer, or whatever. And now that no longer makes sense to you. So there's a transformation in the nature of your desires. In the middle of the month, you have the Four of Stones, or the Four of Pentacles in traditional decks. To me, it's like in the middle of the month, you can come to the realization that you have an inner treasure chest. You have it inside of you. All the treasures that you need are inside of you. You can fulfill your own desires because you can go inside and fulfill everything, and take from you what you need to fulfill your wishes and your desires. Or it could be literally a treasure chest. Your luck changes because you find a treasure, or you play the lottery, and in the middle of the month you have this huge win. You have the confirmation of a huge win in the beginning of the month. In the middle of the month you get the money. Because, for instance, I think I was told, if I'm not mistaken, when you win the Euro Millions, which is a game that connects many countries, a lottery game that many countries in Europe can play. So a winner can come from France or Italy or Portugal or Spain or UK. So it's played by a lot of countries in Europe. So you get the money. Let's say you played it, and then like first of the month, like there's a new moon in Leo, and in the 2nd of August, if I'm not mistaken. So let's say, Leo opposes to you. If you have Aquarius on the first house, and then you have Leo on your on the seventh house, which is the house of partners. But if you have Aquarius, let's say you have Sun in Aquarius, but you have it, on the second house. Therefore, Leo is on the 8th house. So there's a new beginning in shared resources. It could be winning the lottery. It could be that. I hope so, Aquarius. Tell me if that happened to you. So it could be getting the funds. It takes 21 days. I was told between 21 days or 26 days to get the funds put in your bank account. So let's say in the beginning of the month, you got the confirmation. Oh my God, I won the lottery. I won Euro Millions. And then around the 20th of August, you get the money. And it's literally the treasure chest. You get the money. And immediately you put it away. At the end of the month, you have the golden flower or the temperance card. If you want something, you're very moderate with your spending. You don't spend like a lot or at all, or you're very patient and you just decide to be patient. You're very self-contained and self-controlled. You don't go out and spend Like, you don't go out and buy a Lamborghini. You don't do that. You're like thinking and considering, okay, what do I do with it now? But mostly I read this as desires, a transformation in the nature, in your desire nature. It's like there's something big happening inside of you, spiritually, Aquarius. And at the end of the month, you're very self-controlled, self-contained, and you get to, you understand, there's a realization that you get what you want if you go at it in a very moderate way, in a very patient and calm way, in a very temperate way. If you contain your nature desire, your desire nature, you will get everything that you want if you contain your desire nature. It could be that. It could be moderate luck for others coming your way because you are patient, because you are calm. Or it could be literally, because it doesn't show up here, but in traditional decks, the Temperance card is there's an angel on it, the figure of an angel. So your angel, guardian angel, helps your good luck, brings good luck to you. Could be that. Not like big. Could be big. For some, could be extremely big. For others, it's something small, but that you like, that you appreciate. Again, to me, it's like something inside. It's a big spiritual transformation inside that has to do with your desire nature. You're more self-contained, you're more self-restricted. You've contained your desire. It's like you're advancing into Buddha nature or something like that, Aquarius. And then in the fourth column, connected with friendship, in the beginning of the month you have the Two of Stones or the Two of Pentacles in traditional decks. It could be that you are trying to connect with all sorts of friends and you want to meet. Aquarius have lots and lots of friends. So you're trying to see this friend and that friend. You're not trying to see just one friend. You're trying to see a bunch of friends. So you are like sending messages. You are messaging each other, trying to figure it out a day where all of you can meet. And one says, okay, I can Friday, but I cannot Saturday. And the other one says, okay, Saturday I can't, but maybe Sunday. Okay, Sunday I can only show up at around 3 o'clock. So you're trying to figure out a way where all of you can meet. Or it could be just one friend, okay? But I'm not thinking that. Or it could be two friends because it's the Two of Stones. It's two friends, so it could be maybe one friend can, maybe the other friend cannot at that day. Or it could be being flexible. Be flexible with the schedule of a friend, yes, or be flexible while interacting with a friend or a group of friends. Because you understand that you need to keep harmony and you need to be flexible because you're learning something from them, even if you don't agree with him or her, because it showed up as a bear. And bears, again, to me, they can be very conservative and traditionalist and do not change their minds. So maybe you're like having a conversation, a dialogue with a friend or a group of friends, and you are kind of keeping your principles and your values quiet because you find value in the knowledge that these friends are giving you. Like you're learning something from them. Like you're opening up your mind somehow. In the middle of the month you have Mahat, or the Justice card in traditional decks. Mahat is the goddess of justice in the Egyptian pantheon. She is the goddess of justice or in order. So you can be friends literally with a Egyptian goddess. I'm joking. Who knows? Or you might be friends with someone who's really like a nutcase for anything to do with ancient Egypt. Doesn't shut up about it, something like that. Or you could be friends with someone who's a Libra, and you might be meeting someone who's a Libra in the middle of the month. Or it could be that someone in your family friend circle is having trouble, is dealing with justice, a court case. It could be something simple, like he or she is like a witness in a court case. Or it could be he or she is divorcing, or he or she is battling, dealing with custody issues, and like supporting him or her, or he or she is talking to you. Or it could be literally to others. A friend of yours goes to jail, goes to prison, and I don't know if he or she did something wrong. It could be something extremely unfair. Imagine that he's not doing anything wrong, or she's not doing anything wrong. He only gets like stuck on the wrong place at the wrong time, and he's in jail. There's some sort of demonstration, like a public demonstration, and it turns violent, and police starts arresting everyone, and your friend who's doing nothing is like, he or she is just going back is going to work, or is coming back from work and is going to back home, literally gets cut up in this and gets arrested, and like, I was not doing anything, I was just walking home. I remember a case, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if it was in UK, a guy. There was a demonstration. It was not very peaceful. I don't know if it's UK. I think it was a Western country, but I'm not quite sure of that. And I don't know exactly when it happened, 2011, 2012, so I don't know. And then, I think it was UK, England, I'm not quite sure. There was some sort of demonstration, and it turned violent or something, and the police had to intervene. And literally this one guy, a gentleman, who had, I think he was Muslim, if I'm not mistaken, or he came from a Middle East country, and he was literally going back home. He's coming from work, and he's walking home. That's his usual path. And there's a cop that just hits him, and he dies. He hits him with a stick in his head, and he dies. So this poor guy, who's coming from work, going home, has nothing to do with this demonstration, none whatsoever, gets mixed up or whatever, and gets hit by a cop, and he dies, and he did nothing. Okay, he did nothing. Again, I wish I could say, but can you imagine this? You're doing nothing, or a friend of yours is doing nothing. Suddenly there's like this big demonstration, and you had no idea about it. Sometimes it's like that. Sometimes you just focus on your work so much, like you do your work, and you have no idea there's going to be a demonstration or peace rally or whatever, or and you're just going home, and like, oh my God, that happened actually to me once. Was I took my car to my job like a few years ago. Sometimes I could take my car on Saturdays and Sundays, and I work Saturdays and Sundays. It was in a certain part where I worked in a hotel. I could leave my car, and I didn't have to pay anything. So from Monday to Friday, you have to pay. Parking meter, you have to pay, and you have to change where your car is every 4 hours. So I didn't bring my car. I took public transportation. But Sundays, I think Sundays I worked. No, I'm sorry, Saturdays I worked, and Sundays was my day off. So Sundays, because I could take my car, I could sleep longer, which was the main reason that I wanted to take my car. If I didn't have to wake up at 4:30 in the morning, I could wake up at 5:30. I could sleep an hour longer. I mean, that's awesome. So I could take my car, and I didn't have to pay anything. And literally had no idea about manifestations and demonstrations, anything like that. By the time I leave work, which is 3 o'clock, I cannot, the roads, everyone is demonstrating, so I cannot take the usual route, I have to take another route. I had no idea. I didn't know this. Had I known this, I would not take the car. So it could be literally something like that. You know, you get mixed up in something and you're doing nothing, or a friend of yours is doing nothing. And he's just walking home or something like a walk, or going to work, and he literally, the cops get him or her. And, okay, I'm taking too long to explain this. I'm sorry, Aquarius. At the end of the month, you have Papa Legba, or the Strength card in traditional decks. So at the end of the month, you probably, if this, it's a question in terms of a friend of yours is mixed up in something to do with courts, whatever it is, fighting for his rights or her rights, or just being arrested for no reason, you, Aquarius, are admiring the inner strength of your friend. You are admiring his courage or her courage. And again, it could be also a theme of self-restraint, self-domain. You're dominating your feelings. Why? There's a theme of being flexible and being self-controlled related to your friends and related to the friendship area, because you feel, Aquarius, you have a lot to learn with them. I don't know what. It's like they expand your mind, expand your view of life, of the world. So you understand this, so you allow yourself to be self-contained and flexible. And then 30 minutes, whoa. In the fifth column, connected with love and sex, Aquarius, in the beginning of the month you have Psyche, or the world in traditional decks. For some of you, could be the end of a cycle. So some of you might end a relationship, yes. Others might take the relationship to the next level. Okay, you might decide to, hey, let's live together, hey, let's have a kid, hey, let's get married, hey, let's get engaged. In the middle of the month, you have the Illusionist, or the Knight of Stones. In traditional decks, called the Knight of Pentacles. In traditional decks, the Knight of Pentacles is very slow, a conservative sort of person, very traditional. Here, it's different. Here, the Illusionist, or the Knight of Stones, or the Knight of Pentacles, this is a very spontaneous sort of person. Kind of like a trickster, a jokester, but spontaneous, gives you incentive. So you might, if you are moving up to the next level with this person, it's felt like a new adventure, kind of like a new adventure, this new phase in the relationship with this person. If you've left an old relationship, there's a feeling of you can, you're free, you can be spontaneous in your love life, you can go and, search, something like that. At the end of the month, you have the Minstrel, or the King of Stones, or the King of Pentacles in traditional decks. This is an evolution. See, first is this one. First is the Knight of Stones, and then you have the King of Stones. It's like if you are with someone at the end of the month, you both understand this is a very serious relationship. This is very serious relationships. You moved on to the next level of this relationship, and now you are figuring it out, the money, the monetary part, the financial part connected to this next phase in your life in terms of love. So maybe you want to get married, so maybe you already planning for the wedding that might come like a year from now. It could be okay. We have to look at places where you can meet all of our friends and which is like the best place in terms of money, in terms of service, how much money you want to spend. Or it could be gonna have a kid, we have to start saving for our kid, you know, or you decide to move in together. So you're talking in a very adult and responsible way about domestic budget. Okay, let's make a domestic budget. Let's see how much we are going to spend, how much is going to be paid. Maybe we should have like a joint financial account to take from, and we both put in that joint financial account a certain amount of money, and you decide how much, and then both of you have like separate accounts for other things for your, you know, and then from this joint account you take all money related to those domestic expenses, rent, utilities, food, anything connected with that. So, but you're speaking with him or her in a very responsible adult manner about money. Okay? If it's not that, if you're single, I think you're maybe talking to someone, the King of Stones, the king who might be from an earth sign, Virgo, Capricorn or Taurus, and you're talking with this person. I think it's talking about what you truly desire out of a love relationship. And maybe you've come to the realization that you want stability, that you want responsibility, that to you it's okay to be bored, or like excitement, it's not important, but stability and security, it's important. Maybe you're having this type of conversation with someone, or you have that realization yourself. What do I want out of love? I want a full partnership at all levels. I want someone who's responsible with his money or her money. I want someone who's loyal. You know, the dog, you can see, is very loyal. I don't want excitement. I want loyalty. I want stability. I want security. That's what I want out of a relationship, out of a love relationship. And then the sixth row connected with plans and goals. In the beginning of the month you have Helpy, or the star in traditional decks. Maybe your plan and your goal is to be more optimistic, for instance, or is to spread hope, for instance. Helpy is called hope, to help spread hope. So this is connected with Aquarius, by the way. Maybe your plan and goal is to be more fully yourself. Maybe your plan and goal is to go abroad, you know, to make a trip abroad. Maybe your plan and goal in the beginning of the month of August, Aquarius, is to progress, is to have some sort of advancement. It could be in your career, but not necessarily, because maybe you saw something online, like a competition, a contest of some kind. Could be creative contest. I'm sorry. It could be something like a literary contest, like a poem contest, something like that. And it's open to everyone. And then in the middle of the month, you have the Ace of Scrolls, or the Ace of Swords in traditional decks. So maybe you are in the middle of the month sending in your participation to this contest, for instance. Or you are, whatever goal you can be very ambitious with your goal in the beginning of the month. There's whatever goal you set for yourself, whatever objective you set for yourself, could be just for August, or could be longer than August. It's really ambitious. I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to write 200,000 words in the month of August, something like that. This is ambitious. But I would not say it could be. I think it's ambitious, then it's probably longer than August, like a long-term goal. long-term plan, a long-term objective. In the middle of the month, you like writing it down. So you're planning everything out and connected with this very ambitious planning goal. At the end of the month, Aquarius, you have the Six of Spirals. So there's some sort of achievement. You get maybe one of your goals and objectives is accomplished. Yes. Connected or not with the goal you set to yourself in the beginning of the month. If you set to yourself a goal in the beginning of the month that was, for instance, to participate in a literary contest or in a context like that's open to everyone, maybe at the end of the month you get the very nice surprise that you were one of the winners. It could be that you got the third prize, yeah, or the first prize, or this maybe it has nothing to do with the goals and the objectives that you set for yourself in the beginning of the month. Whatever goal and objective that you had set for yourself maybe a long time ago, now at the end of the month, now you accomplish it, and with extreme, it's pride, very, very pride that you accomplished this goal and you've achieved this objective, and you are honored because of it. You get a prize because of it. Or you even get promoted because you've achieved something. This could be actually connected with, for instance, for some of you, with work. So let's say there's a very, this goal might have to do with the company you work for. The company you work for said something like, our goal, our objective for the next, 6 months is to sell 1 million units. I'm just giving you an example. It's to sell 1 million units. And they recognize that your work helped in achieving that goal. And because of that, they promote you. Yay, Aquarius. And then, in the column 7, you connected with personal, 40 minutes, personal project in the beginning of the month that probably might have to do with work, but not necessarily. It could be, again, something creative, something that you do just for yourself, for your own pleasure, because you like it. It's a hobby. You have Bella Rosa, or the Devil card in traditional decks. This could be you're working on something personal, but you're keeping it hidden. See? This person is hiding behind the mask. And why do you keeping it hidden? Because you will recognize that this work, this personal project in which you are working in, might be, part of it might be socially unacceptable. So it might kind of go against the rules of society, so you kind of decide to, I'm not going to share this with anyone. Or it could be something else. It could be you're working on something, but you're kind of sabotaging yourself. Maybe you're thinking, I'm not good enough to do this, which kind of explains the goals that you set for yourself in the beginning of the month. The goal might be, I will be more optimistic. So that's the goal that you set for yourself. I will be more optimistic. I will believe more. I'll be more optimistic. And I will read books which will help me, and I will research ways which will help me be more optimistic. Why? Because you're working on a project, personal project, and you're very negative. I cannot do this. Very negative. I will never finish this. Like sabotaging yourself because of the way you think. Or you could be also, but somehow I'm thinking more. You're hitting it. Or it could be if you share this project with this personal project with someone else. This person might be saying one thing to you, might be saying, yeah, it seems great. It's just wonderful. Yeah, I want to help you in that. But he or she is lying, and he or she is really trying to sabotage you. So you might want to keep an eye on that. Don't share. It's better to keep yourself quiet, honestly. It's just you. And then, in the middle of the month, you have the mime on the page of spirals, the page of wands in traditional decks. I think that the middle of the month, you finally have more self-confidence, and you're sharing the personal project in which you are working on. If this is like a contest that's open to everyone, in the middle of the month, discarding goals and plans showed up, the goal, the objective in the middle of the month. You are sending, because the page of spirals or the page of wands has to do with messages, you are sending your message, you are sending your participation through email, for instance. It could even be snail mail. Ooh, that would be awesome. You're sending in, and you're sending it with belief, with faith in yourself. Or you're talking about this personal, if it's not a contest of any kind, there's a personal project, and you're talking about finally to others, and you're like, and for the first time you're talking about it, and there's self-confidence, I would say. There's joy talking about it, also connected with this personal project. At the end of the month, you have the two of spirals, or the two of wands in traditional decks. It's like maybe you finished up this personal project. There was one personal project in which you were working on, and you, by the middle of the month, you've, I would say, ended it and are talking about it for the first time. And then at the end of the month, you're trying to decide, okay, now what? Now I want to work on something new. Do I decide this one? Do I pick this project? Do I pick another project? Which one do I choose? And remember, the Oracle card, choices, be responsible for your choices, and choose not to please others, but based on your own personal values and principles, because you cannot please everyone. Therefore, you are better off if you choose something that is more in line with your own values. So, in making this choice in terms of personal projects, choose something that connects to you, that gives you joy and is aligned with your values and your principles. It could be that, or it could be that it's the same personal project, but now it comes to a road. It's like a fork in the road, and you don't know where to go. Okay, maybe it's writing a book, for instance. A book that if it comes out, it will be like, oh my God, how could anyone write this? I could give you so many examples of books like that. I love books like that. I love books where you're reading it and like, oh my God, how did this person had the courage to write this? And how come I didn't think of it first? There's this book, what is it called? The Necrophiliac. I think it's the Necrophiliac, the Necrophile, something like that. It's from a German author, or it's a French author. I don't know their name. Oh my God, if I can see. It's very disturbing. I'm not going to say, Google it, but it's the type of books that I like, because they have the courage to go where where others will not go. First, I would never think of writing something like that, and I'm kind of envious of people, of authors who have such weird type of thoughts. Again, it could be something that kind of goes against the grain of what is socially accepted, because Aquarius is like that sometimes. You kind of go against the grain of others, of what society seems is willing to accept. You want to break barriers. You want to break barriers, you know. So, oh God, maybe I should mention this book, but it's an awesome book. You can go and Google it. It's disturbing as hell, I'm telling you. I read it in Spanish, I think it's in Spanish, in French, maybe in English, but I'm not quite sure. And it's a female author, and she's dead. She died a while ago. And I read a few other of her books, and it's like that. Not all of them, but some of them are like very, very disturbing. And it takes guts and courage to go there, you know. I admire that. I admire that courage. it could be like that type of book, for instance, Aquarius, that will really disturb society. That's how I read the devil sometimes. Really disturbing, oh my God, because it goes to like the depths of everything that's wrong with us humans. Isn't afraid. Books, that type of book, that type of work, that type of painting, that goes, it clearly shows everything which is, let's say, bad with us, all the horrors of human nature, and then you don't know where to go with it. So you started it, and then there's option A and option B, and this row, this way, this road, and that road, and you're trying to decide where do I go next with this book, with this painting, with this personal project. Oh my God, 50 minutes, more than 15 minutes, because, oh my God. That's it, Aquarius. You probably get the longer video this month of August 2016. This is a very general reading, Aquarius. If you'd like a personal consultation, please send an email to dunyazad@gmail.com. I'll be delighted to work with you. That's it.